Hello, everyone. I finally have all of the various issues with this set of mods fixed. So, yeah, as you can see, I can mine stone now. So we're doing mine days. You know, we've got a decent frame rate. We've got the ability to mine stone. So unless some new issue comes up that I'm not aware of yet, we should be fine. So I think first thing I'm gonna do is do what I planned to do last time, which is to do some upgrades on the ironworks to get it running a bit faster. Hopefully. Because admittedly, I have not really done much when it comes to optimizing a create contraption. But I do know that alternating the size of your cogs is supposed to help with rotation speed. Which the big thing is that the fan is a little slow, I think. It's especially slow compared to how fast the drill goes. Go ahead and grab some iron. Because I need shafts so that I can make some large cogs. It seems like there might be one slight issue remaining, in that sometimes the camera seems to get just like momentarily stuck. But compared to a lot of the other problems, it's a very minor issue. Like, you know, at least I can mine stone, and the game actually runs halfway decent. Alright, so currently this is 16 in stress units. And this is 32 stress units. Currently the drill is off because I have significantly more cobblestone than I really need piled up at the rate that I'm able to blow through it. Okay, that is moving in the wrong direction now. Now we've got it moving correctly. I think that's still the same speed, but that's probably just because I don't think I can really do much on that part. But that's probably not actually even the part that needs to be sped up. It might actually not be possible to really speed this up all that much. But, you know, I might as well try. I mean, I think that is faster. It does not change the stress impact, but it does seem like it's faster. That should improve the iron production. That is indeed moving faster. I might as well just resume work on the interior here. I need scaffolding slabs and 5 steel rods. So it takes at least 8 steel rods to... Let's make just 1 crafting of scaffolding. Well, at least it produces 6. Because you need 3 of these to make the steel scaffolding block. And then you have to make steel scaffolding slabs out of it. And then you need to add 5 steel rods. Not sure why there's no railing. Do I maybe need to use the engineer's hammer? No. Oh, actually, you do use the engineer's hammer. Just not the most obvious way. Which I might end up making this not just one, one block going all the way around. Oh, apparently it can rotate furnaces with the engineer's hammer as well. Which are actually kind of almost done. Like, I just need probably like one or two more sets of scaffolding. At least for just covering the entire way around the building. Okay, that bit of catwalk needs to go because it blocks the stairs. Yeah, now we have a very safe OSHA approved catwalk. About the only place you could fall off this thing is without intentionally jumping off of it is on the stairs. Oh, and I can add rails to the stairs. You don't really need rails on the wall facing side. Yeah, just gonna sleep real quick because it is once again night. Yeah, I might add just like another row here. Just so that there's a bit more room to actually put things up here.
My nib. Nigel. Chai.
Unfortunately, I'm currently one steel rod short. Oh, the vault is just a barrel with iron sheets on it. However, you do have to build like a whole setup to actually use a vault. One thing that I was thinking about adding is an auto smelting setup, which is using more stuff from Create, namely a fan and some conveyor belts, and also some lava, which, you know, isn't from Create, but like it's basically like the setup that we've got downstairs, only instead of water, it uses lava. And basically, it would be a way to, for me to be able to just dump ores somewhere here and have them automatically be smelted without having to use any kind of resources like, you know, coal or wood, that kind of thing. think I think maybe I didn't really accomplish all that much on making the farm faster. Maybe what I need to do is actually to speed it up. I thought that's a bit earlier in the whole process. Yeah, like maybe I can do something swapping that gear right there. Except I can't because this is in the way. So actually what I'd have to do is... First of all, figure out where the... There's my large cogwheel. Okay, so that is slower. Have just put shaft here. Let's see if that did absolutely nothing to speed things up. That is at the exact same speed that it was before. Yeah, there's just like no spot here to put the exact cogwheel that I need. Is that doing anything? It is decreasing speed by a significant amount. So it is doing something, it's just doing the complete opposite of what I want it to do. Don't need to be falling in a hole. Interesting, the lava has turned white at some point. Finally, a spot where I can actually sleep. I'm just going to quickly make a chest to store everything in, so that I can empty out my inventory a little bit. Looks like for the time being, I'm basically going to have to relocate just about everything. In just like one singular block. Away from where it currently is. Goes there. That is not where I need that to go. I'm just working on an iron farm that I'm hoping to upgrade to go a bit faster. Here we go. Got the fan in the right spot. Except that's not the right spot because the gears still aren't, because the cogs still don't line up correctly. Yeah, now it is not only slower, but it's spinning in the wrong direction. And also somehow part of the rest of the machine is on fire now. Okay, so that overstresses it. Okay, that at least got back to its previous speed. It's still spinning in the wrong direction. Maybe if I... If I added more gearboxes down here, maybe that will do something. And I do have more logs. Add something like that, and then... make another one. Only this one will be vertical. And it is somehow... not connecting at all. And I have managed to give it 8 stress units. When normally it's 16. I do a little bit of this. Well, it got back up to 16. At least it's not worse. Is this any better? No. Starting to look like maybe 16 is the best I can hope for. Which, unfortunately, that right there is in the wrong direction. There we go. Honestly, at this point, thing is just gonna have to be good enough to get at 16 in the correct direction. Now I've just got to add in my waste disposal. We'll have to locate some flint, which I think some flint might have ended up in storage. Because I need to make sure that it knows to put specifically flint this way. And I might as well fill in this little bit of extra space here. So that was basically completely useless, because the machine is not actually going to be any faster. And I expended a bunch of resources as trying. So, I think I'm just gonna work on a different project for a little while. Which is namely going to be some automatic tree farming. I'm just gonna disassemble this because it doesn't even work. And yeah, I might as well just have the resources to use on other things, since it does use some just like general create resources. So we've got a mechanical bearing here. I think I actually saw something in the ponder menu. You know, that might be better than what I originally had planned. Yeah, so far none of this is really what I'm looking for. Powered auger shafts will extract items. And they can collect materials from harvesting actors, including the saws. And they've even already got a saw ready. Oh, I'm just hungry. For a moment, I thought I was being attacked by something. Of course, I left my sleeping bag somewhere. And once again, there are monsters nearby, so I can't sleep in there. Well, good thing that that I set my respawn point. In case I broke this at some point. which I'm probably going to have to redo some of that anyway, because this needs to be able to connect to where the trees are going to be. I think the big thing that I need... So I need an auger shaft, probably an auger cogwheel. No, I just need the shaft. I think. Well, I can easily turn one into a cogwheel if I need to. So, which unfortunately, this does not have the cross compatibility with immersive engineering, so I have to make specifically the iron sheet from Create. I'm just gonna briefly set one of these up. I have to go to the crafting table to turn some of this iron into an iron or an ingot. Right, that's the iron sheet made. So I need an auger shaft and a funnel. And I need at least 3 more iron ingots to make any... Exactly 3 more iron ingots or a spare air chute. To be able to make the auger shaft. Got one more iron ingot. And unfortunately, I put my engineer's hammer down here. Don't think I don't think any villagers have relevant trades, so other workers certainly don't. I guess I could go ahead and make the funnel. Which I'm also going to have to build something to replant. Like this is just going to automate chopping down on the tree and sending the wood into the machine right now. We've got the kelp cooking. And there actually is something I might be able to do to get some more resources. In that if I can find that boat that I had that I accidentally threw down here a while back, then maybe I can retrieve the contents. Because it had a chest. I think probably the easiest thing for that is going to be to use the door method. Because I think the big obstacle on finding this essentially very small shipwreck is the risk of drowning. I think because of how far down I have to go. It also doesn't help that I've no idea where the thing went. Beyond it should be somewhere near here. It's possible the thing isn't even around anymore because it's like I removed the mod that made it possible to even throw it. And so that might have done something weird to its state of existence. Oh, I see it. It is confirmed to still be in existence at the very least. So that's good. It's just kind of in something that almost borders on a trench. And I drowned before I could get to it. But hey, at least now my death marker will help guide me to where it is. Okay, now this is interesting. Because my dead body is a Sable object, it's doing some interesting things when I stand on it. I briefly got access to the chest on the boat. I didn't have the inventory space to actually do anything with that access. Yes, but I had it. So I need to heal up so that I don't just die on the way down. I'm just gonna float down. To this door here. And now I have successfully retrieved all of the contents of that chest. Including 11 raw iron, a sandwich of night vision, an ostrich egg, some egg, a bunch of seeds, a bunch of coal. But very importantly, a bunch of iron. Because that will make making things just in general a whole lot easier. Now I can go back to the dock and retrieve my engineer's hammer again. So now I've got my chutes. And so now I've got my auger shaft. So now I can just go over here. Fill some of this in with dirt. I think I probably will have to use an auger cogwheel. Uh, an auger shaft there. Auger cogwheel there. And then underneath it is where the setup for powering it will go. And to start setting that up, I need some of my various materials from this chest. Right, I've got the saw. Sure hope this thing doesn't end up being a problem when it comes to actually moving things on the conveyor belt. Or even just putting the conveyor belt where it needs to be. Yeah, I think this thing might be at slightly the wrong angle. Grab that. go back to where the chest is and retrieve the belt that's supposed to be on there. Yeah, that's the wrong spot. Also needs to be higher up. Right now, just do this. And that should get that powered once. I get this powered again. Ah, this is the wrong kind of gearbox for that. Well, I got partially powered. I just put one. If I that is going in the wrong direction. So I'm just going to put that back where it was. And I'm just going to make another gearbox, I think. Which, of course, means going back to the chest that's on the docks and getting a stripped log. Or actually, I've got multiple gearboxes right here. So I can just reuse one of those. Those and not even worry about the log. And that starts that moving in the wrong direction. And so now everything is working. So now to just give it a test run. By just getting some logs real quick. And some saplings will also be useful. Oh yeah, and I need a funnel. But once I add the funnel on, then I will know for sure if it's working properly. In order to make the funnel, I need some andesite, which is, once again, in the chest down by the docks, because that's where I put all of my stuff. Of when I went to go retrieve my items from under the sea. Right, I've got 2 andesite funnels, which I probably actually will end up needing a brass funnel or something. Because I'll need a means of separating out to... Okay, so something's wrong here. Maybe if I have it here, because it contains one oak log. So why is it not pulling it out? Like, something's wrong with my funnel setup. Yeah, they collect materials from harvesting actors. When a connected actor breaks a block, items are automatically collected. Okay, apparently you put funnels on the side. That's the problem. So I have to build the whole thing sideways now. Get clear of my inventory real quick. It needs to be here. Grab one of my funnels. Put it there. Go get another log. Because I used all of my logs building the crafting table and the chest. Discover that there's apparently some iron golems trapped in this hole. Yeah, there were like 3 of them down there. Place a log here. And have it accomplish fuck all. Right, so if I instead power it here and not even worry about having one of those cog things, it still doesn't want to work. Oh, that's because it didn't take the log. For some reason. Like, for whatever reason, it just does not want to actually do its job up now. Even though the whole point of this thing is that it's supposed to receive items from harvesting actors like the saw. Like, it was doing it just fine before. Why is it not working now? Does it need one of these? These specifically? That didn't do anything.
My nip. Nigel. Chaz. Miyasa? My nip. Nigel.
Yeah, it says when it breaks a block. Yeah, it doesn't even want to break planks.
My nip. Nigel.
It might be moving in the wrong direction. Like, that's the best explanation I can find as to why this isn't working. But at the same time, there only seems to be one direction I can get it to move in. Unless I actually take this, put it here. That's still moving in the same direction. If I instead put it here, not there. If I put it here, it's still moving the same way. Like, I don't... Like, it kind of doesn't seem like it's a matter of direction. Well, hold on. I think that did actually change something. Because it says moving 0.15 stacks a second. Whereas before it wasn't saying that. So that means I've got to adjust the belt again. And now it breaks for some reason. And now this isn't moving any packages. Now this isn't moving any items. Right, there we go. I think I have it in a functional state now. Yep, it finally works. Now I just need to make this not send everything into the container over there. Which means I have to grab one of these. Place it here. And add on some filters. And so now I can just put a sapling here. And it should, once the sapling is grown, in fact, just to make testing a little bit easier, I'll just speed up the growth of the sapling. Yep, it takes the entire thing. Including all of the sticks and the saplings, so that's a bit of a problem. Which probably the easiest thing to do about that is going to be a brass funnel. So that I can have this specifically send logs this way. And then I'll use another funnel to send everything else into like a box here, probably. And I'll probably end up having to make some kind of system for dealing with the sticks. Because that's the one thing that I don't have any use for right now is a bunch of sticks. Maybe I could add a Fletcher villager because Fletchers have a trade where you can give them, I believe it's 16 sticks for 1 emerald. Of course, since this requires brass, I'm most likely going to have to go on a mining expedition. Somewhere that's a bit far away from here because there is no brass. Well, there's no zinc anywhere under a good portion of the already explored areas of this world, because a number of areas, as including this one, were generated before I added create.
Why nip? Nice. Chaz. Miyasa?
Alright, still got like an hour and 20 minutes, so
Why nip?
hunting for zinc is probably going to be sort of the last portion of tonight's stream. I get the feeling that my dynamic lights are not actually doing anything. It might just be that they're not super noticeable right now because it's currently daytime. Yeah, I'm gonna have to head off towards the Great Wall, so that I can be for sure in post-create world generation. In fact, if I went far enough this way, I would be for sure in new chunks. But I'm pretty sure this whole thing right here is a result of a shift in versions, and part of that shift in versions was adding create. And I'm pretty sure. As well mine this iron since it's right here. And I also already have a little mine shaft here. Yeah, and it looks like the thing with my lantern is not working at all. Because I've got a mod that's supposed to make it to where the lantern will provide light just by being on my belt. But it doesn't seem to be doing that, so... But at least the torches provide light. I'll mine the coal while I'm here. Right, and that leads to water. This seems like it has some promise. Or at least it did. Kind of seems like none of this has been anywhere near deep enough to actually have any zinc. Well, it's got iron. And so that's something of some use. Granted, the whole point of building my iron farm is that I don't have to ever mine for iron. But, you know, if I can find some while looking for something else, I might as well pick it up. Yeah, it's looking like I'm still not deep enough. I should probably actually head back to the surface, seeing as I'm on 3 hearts. I'd rather not die in an inconvenient spot underground. Especially when it's far, far away from my current respawn point. Unfortunately, I'm not sure where the way out of here is. I might have to go for the direct route. Or I can go direct until I find something familiar. Unfortunately, none of these torches seem to lead out either. Okay, there we go. There's the way back out. I'm just gonna sleep here. To minimize any problems I might encounter upon returning to the surface. I think it might be a good idea to just go ahead and make a bed. That if I can find the wool for it. Because, you know, that way I can set a respawn point way out here and not have to worry as much about dying. Here's the stairs I've got to get up fully into the new chunks. Which I guess really I could make some shears. Shears have got iron. And I'm also finding some manure, which is apparently part of the Hearth and Harvest mod. So just need one more sheep. Technically, I've already got enough wool, it's just not all the same color. And unfortunately, I don't have a setup to make black dye, it looks like. Here we go, I can just make it all any other color. Like, if I can just get 3 of any dye color, then it will all work together. Problem being, I'm not really finding a lot of dye. Like, I found like 1 flower and that's it. Because all these various like wild nettles and whatnot, I don't think I can use them for dyes. Okay, apparently roses are a really good source of red dye. But now I've just got to... And of course there's a poppy right there. You know, now that I've already got all of the dye that I needed, and I'm heading back to where I was gonna set up my bed. Because it's not a thunderstorm, so no, I don't need to worry about it spawning any no hostile mobs. Need to get to the edge of the differently generated chunks. And make my way down. Right here is a spot to do that. So now I've just got to go and... yeah, might as well... first I'll need wood. And I might as well build the thing near where I've got my little, like, crafting set up. But, you know, first I've got to figure out where that is. Here. Here it is. So just knock down a tree real quick. And respawn point set. You know, maybe I'll actually build a little something. Just so that, you know, my bed's not just sitting out here. You know, just build a little shack around it. Probably actually make an axe so this can go by a little bit faster. Go ahead and eat a couple apples. Cook up some mutton. Apparently I turned off the JEI overlay at some point. Okay, so for this I need actual logs and not planks. Because yeah, I'm gonna make an actual proper roof using the mod that I have that adds roof items. At some point I'm gonna die because I descended from on top of this building from a little bit too high. It's either that or I'll eat enough food first and actually get multiple hearts. And I need more wood to be able to have a good base for the roof. I'm putting in probably too much effort for this little shack that I'm just gonna stay in for specifically this mining expedition, pretty much. Like, this is just the base of operations for mining in this area. But I mean, depending on how quickly I can find some zinc, I might be here a while. So, you know, Might as well make the place look nice. Apparently, so I think my earbud might have just fallen asleep somehow. Either that or its battery died, but I didn't notice it saying that the battery was dying. Now just gotta make an oak roof top. I think that should be enough. Yeah, that was actually more than enough. Which I probably could make it look nicer with maybe even just using logs. Yeah, just by replacing some of the planks with logs, it's already looking a lot better. Of course, that means cutting down more trees. That's that done. Now to get back to what I actually came out here for. At least once I build a little chest. Put a bunch of stuff that I don't need to take mining with me in the chest. Real quick, make a whole bunch more torches. Go ahead and have that ready for making more pickaxes as well. I've already managed to get myself a little lost. Here we go. Here's where I was digging deeper. It'd really help if I knew what level zinc generates at. And I think it's pretty deep. Well, here's some granite that will be useful for working on the ironworks later. And some coal. Coal that I can use to smelt everything once I find it. Well, I've hit lapis lazuli, so maybe we're getting close. Certainly approaching a cave. I could just keep the water out. Now that would be great. Well, I found silver. Not the modded ore I'm looking for. I'm also gonna have to gear up to fight some zombies. And probably some skeletons and creepers too. Because I think about the best way to progress from this point is going to be you need to start exploring a cave. I've got a shield and a sword. Because I think we're probably about at the level I need to be at. I'm gonna go ahead and make another pickaxe and get spooked by a pig. Might as well clear out my inventory of some of this stuff. You know, this way if I die, I've minimized the number of valuables I lose. Lose if I can never find my dead body. Oh, this doesn't even seem to be much of a cave. Oh no, the real cave's over this way. And that's silver. Again, not what I'm looking for. Got some iron. More iron. So might as well collect this while I'm here. And clearly this is new enough chunk generation that there theoretically could be zinc somewhere around here. You know, if there's silver. Or because I added both immersive engineering and create at the same time because I like pairing them together. Mostly because it gives me a way to make brass without having to go into the nether and capture a blaze. And so I can just use... I believe it's called the alloy furnace. Or alloy kiln or whatever. But, you know, all of that's kind of moot if I don't have any zinc anywhere. I might be too far down or something. Like, there's nickel down here. Don't know what that's used for. What if we find a diamond before I find the zinc? Like, I'm close to the right level for diamonds, I think. I'm certainly at the right level for lead, apparently. Maybe I just need to go deeper. Well, I'm getting fully into deep slate now. It's actually one thing that I can do. Okay, yes, zinc can appear in the deep slate layer. Yeah, I had to make sure that finding zinc this deep was even a possibility. And while it is possible, I still am not seeing any. Oh, I think finally. I'm just gonna grab this and go home. Got 11 zinc, so that's good for at least 11 brass, I think. Which should be plenty enough for my current project. Now, if I can just remember where I need to go to get out of here. Found some gold. That's not the way out. Like, I really don't want to have to go for a direct route up to the surface. My earbud fell asleep again. Like, I don't know why it's doing that. Unless I think it fell asleep. Either that or Minecraft was just being very quiet. I know there was lava near. Route I took to get down here. See, like, part of the problem is that it looks pretty much all the same. Well, I found more zinc. It's still not a way out, but I might as well grab it while I'm here. And I've also got a bit of a time limit. Because there's only 21 minutes left till 4 a.m. and I'd rather not still be stuck down here. Here when I start the next Minedays. Yeah, that's not my way out. Because, you know, if I take a week away from the game while I'm stuck down here, that's a week to further forget how I even got down here. Maybe the play is death, honestly. Like, if I just die, then that will leave a marker telling me where my body is. And all I have to do is make my way back down here. And then when I get down here, I'll have a fresh memory of where the hell the way back up is. First, to make sure that nothing gets, like, burnt, I have to make sure I have to die to something that's not lava. I still don't know why the lava turned white. Well, hold on, I think... Nope, this is just a dead end. And this is another dead end. This looks like it could be the route out of here. If I can just figure out how to get to it. Okay, that's water. There's water and a way out, it looks like. Alright, and I didn't have to die. So that's real good. It's just gonna collect all of my stuff here. I might as well just bring all of the ores raw. Yeah, I can smelt them once I get back. But I should actually take the coal to make sure that I have materials to smelt the stuff with when I get home. Now just gotta walk all the way back to the village. Which, you know, this is one of the reasons to make setup for quickly smelting things. Because it's got 39 iron. quickly sleep so that I can minimize the hostile spawns. And there we go, we're back home. And I didn't die.
Nice
I don't have chisel anywhere.
my nib.
I guess I can see if...
My nib. My nib.
Okay, that's different granite bricks. I can at least lay the groundwork for covering this thing up. Hopefully. Yeah, I'm at least making progress. And it is 3:50 now. Alright, I don't have a bucket on me right now. Because I was gonna see about just real quick making an automated smelter, but I don't think there's really time. I might as well just smelt my zinc the vanilla way.
Chaz. Miyasa. Chaz. Miyasa.
I also need copper. And so far it looks like I don't really have any. Well, I've got one. So I'm gonna have to go mine some copper. Fortunately, I can get that right in this area.
My nib. Nice nice
I'm probably also gonna have to head back to my house and either find some nether quartz that I just already have, or go into the nether and mine some. Which, while I'm over there, I might as well see if I've got some copper around. Yeah, well that's becoming an alloy and everything. I might as well just start heading that way. After all, it'll keep doing its thing while I'm gone. Since I've got a chunk loader. And I might as well just make as much progress on the walk back to my house as I can before 4 a.m. And in the meantime, next stream of Minecraft is planned for next Monday. At least I don't think there's anything else I'd be doing next Monday. Next stream in general is planned for tomorrow with the Lord of the Rings Flash games and a Magic the Gathering Hobbit draft. Since the new set is out, which, if there's time, I might even throw in maybe some standard, because standard's actually been looking a bit better lately, because they banned Badger Mole Cub, Storm Chaser's Talent, and Gran Gran. So, standard's at least maybe slowing down a little bit. I'm not sure if I should do the draft first or the Flash games first. Because either one, like, can be kind of variable on the amount of time it takes. Might do the draft first just to make sure that I get it in. Because I usually do the drafts on Tuesdays, because that's the day that the set comes out. Which I've been enjoying doing the Magic streams, and well, they've been doing kind of well on YouTube lately. So Magic could just start being the Tuesday thing until I feel like doing Paralives again. And but either way, thank you to everyone who stopped by tonight. Just to get, the announcements and the thank yous. It was done a little bit before 4 a.m. Which, if I do start doing magic regularly on Tuesdays, it might not always be on Arena. Because I've got an idea for a series that very much would not be possible on Arena. In fact, it is specifically using a different magic software, I guess you could call it, like magic game altogether, because the 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 software Magic the Gathering Forge has a game mode called Quest. That actually can't. Oh, I had just a ton of brass this entire time, just sitting in a chest. I could have been using all of this instead of going on an entire mining expedition. Well, I've got even more brass, I guess. I have no copper around anywhere in my house, most it looks like. But it doesn't matter since I have a bunch of brass. What I will need is probably some more nether quartz. And I also need to figure out where my sandpaper is. Because I'm not seeing any sandpaper anywhere. I've got paper. I've got sandstone. So, before I end the stream, I'm just gonna real quick find some sand and make some sandpaper. Just so that I have it. Because what I specifically need is I need to make like polished rose quartz. Which requires sandpaper to sand it down. Not suspicious sand. Sandpaper. And I might as well make 2 rose quartz. Just so that I have some more. Right now, that's going to be the end of the stream. So once again, thank you to everyone who stopped by tonight. As I said before, next Minecraft stream is planned for next Monday as usual. And next stream in general is planned for tomorrow with Hobbit Draft and Lord of the Rings Flash games. And maybe... Or I could do Lord of the Rings Flash games Wednesday. I'll see how things go Tuesday. But in the meantime, my links are in the chat.